He really is so irreplaceable. Nobody can ever be Iron Man. That's not nobody. You know, it's not a role like a Superman or a Batman that can kind of find different incarnations. No one can touch it. No one can.
Iron Man. Wow.
That is perfect. That's what he does all the time.
Pepper.
So what was it like meeting Robert Downey Jr. for the first time?
You know, I flew in one of those shooting times, and I was so sick.
Is there a friendship for any of you, a friendship or a connection or a mentor that you found through the Marvel movies that you would point to as being especially important to you?
I'm so not annoyed. He's my favorite person to work with. I love him so much as a person and as an actor. And
Okay.
he doesn't feel the same way.
Yeah, I did improvise in that scene. I mean, you have to with Robert because he's so flight of foot. Everything's different every take, and he's the master of it and the master of it. So.
And listen, Downey too. Downey just because people are so rabid to see him, and he really can stir up so much excitement.
Literally on cue, a helicopter flew down, and Robert got out and came for his audition.
It was both really inspiring and utterly daunting, and I felt a little bit out of my comfort zone in a good way.
There was a knock on my trailer, and it was Robert's assistant.
Downey, I mean, he's been he's such a wonderful guy and so talented and so experienced and so supportive. And
Because you're not doing it with like some 26-year-old shirtless guy who doesn't really have a lot to say. You know, it's like you're doing it with Robert Downey Jr. So
Dropping off like a whole bunch of supplements that he had put together for me, as a get well little package, and then there was this gel that was just so horrible.
No, they're hilarious. And you know what, man? Robert Downey Jr. This is. I was telling him, I was on set with him. I was like, man, this is you started this, and you started it. I mean, no one would have ever expected it.
he's always been in my corner. I've always felt supported by him, and he really brings everybody in to the group and makes sure everyone feels welcome, and especially on this last one. You know, I mean, I always try to, no matter what it feels like for me, I try to imagine what it feels like for him, because he really did start this.
I shake his hand, nice to meet you, and I'm starting to panic, right? I'm like, oh my God, it's Robert Downey Jr.
by the way, him without his shirt is awesome. Don't get me wrong.
22 years ago.
No, right now. And he is the
fine.
best butt in the world. I
you.
recommend you touching it on the way out.
Great idea.
I remember when you first came in, I came in and I was also sick, and I didn't really know you all that well at this point. So you took me back to your trailer, and you hooked me up to this machine.
He really, on this last film, has gone so far out of his way to really bring, you guys know, when Downey's on set, during lunch breaks, he makes sure everyone goes. It's called the Downey lunch. Downey has his own separate. He has a separate, caterer. It's a really nice spread. It's quite lovely.
Really nice. Really nice.
It's really nice.
You cooked the whole goat.
It's really beautiful.
Robert is a king amongst men, and he's our leader. He's Papa Marvel along with Kevin Feige, and for me to be in his company as a character opposite Iron Man is extraordinary, but also him as an actor as Robert Downey Jr. is extraordinary. So
I'm looking him in the face, sort of going, there's something different about you in person. Do they do something to your face on camera? Like, you don't look the same. And then Robert then walked in. And I realized I've been talking to his stunt double the whole time. So I got my, nervous, jittery stuff out of the way with Glenn and then met Robert afterwards.
Oh, my God.
I mean, we're also, we're pretty, entwined, and we hang out. You know, some people, they're only close when they're in front of cameras or when they're talking about how close they are, even though they never hang out together. You know, we make a point of
Yeah,
spending
we're together
time.
a lot. I'm very close with his wife. I worship his child. My children worship him.
Thank you.
It was very fun, actually, because my children have loved him since before they had any idea who he was. So it was really fun when my son realized what was happening, and so I think he loves me even more now, if that's possible.
Thank you.
What machine?
And you started prodding me with this thing. You know the thing that goes, woo? And I just was sitting there just be polite, be polite. And you fixed me up real good.
Wait, what machine? Are you really Iron Man? What's going on?
And you just created this opening for people like me and all of these other cats, and and ladies to be in it, and it was. I was like, thank you so much, man, and you know, it all comes from Robert, and he set the tone for it. His style, his wit, his love of what he does.
Does he feel like kind of the Godfather? Is he kind of the leader on set?
I mean, I feel we get along phenomenally well. You know, he's always been, he's very, very paternal. You know, he's the reason these movies are happening. So in a lot of ways, he feels responsible to make sure every new member is welcomed and comfortable. And on my first Avengers film, you know, he really made sure I felt like I belonged.
I'm very humbled by that, and he was so generous, so accommodating, so inclusive with all the trappings of his success. He shares everything, and you can't ask more than that.
He made a lovely welcoming speech when I first showed up as Vision, but I couldn't hear it because I had the ears on.
So you want me to repeat it now?
But he's a leader, but what marks him is just generosity of spirit, you know, especially for the young guys coming and the new guys. He's always so welcome.
I've never played a king before, so I'm just wondering, how do you prepare for that?
You watch people like yourself.
I actually managed to get to see Black Panther a little bit earlier by ringing Downey and asking him if he had a screener, because he gets sent them all super early because he's like the Godfather. So I actually went over to his house to watch it with him.
He just gives. He's just incredibly generous, and you know, the improvisation, the support for your ideas, the, you know, just encouragement, as well as just being a really, really lovely person, a smart, funny man to be around.
God, it sounds so cheesy, but he makes it a family. And none of this would happen without him.
I can't say enough great things about him. He's just a really good guy, and he's set the tone for this beautiful experience.
It's very collegiate, and it's a family when he's around. It's really great.
I was thinking, you know, the journey that Robert Downey Jr. has made, he's the godfather of all this.